Hey woodturners, I'm Captain Eddie Castle and welcome to my shop. I got a project for you today. It's really a simple little project and you need to learn how to do this and in fact get you some materials and do some. We're talking glue blocks. Yeah, glue blocks. I've got a beautiful piece of black walnut here. I don't want to sacrifice any of it to make a bowl. I need the full depth and I want to use it. I've got all dimensions I need. So how am I going to hold this to get it started? Well, to start with, I'm going to put a glue block on the back of it. I'm going to show you some basics for glue blocks. Basics because if you get it wrong, it could come off and ring your bell. And you got to get a glue block on to where it really matters. Let's try something. Now this would be embarrassing if it doesn't work, but that's the glue block I had on there. And I had it on with super glue and I broke it off and it removed lumber from the bowl. That's what I'm looking for. I don't want it to just break at the glue joint. I want it to take something with it when it leaves. That's what you want. You want to know more? You gotta watch. To get started, let's talk about what's in a glue block. Now, what's in a glue block is pretty simple. It's a block of wood, and you glue it on something, right? Okay, a couple of key points. I'm going to show you the perfect diameter to fit your chuck. That's right, the perfect diameter to fit your chuck. I'll show you a little jig you should make to make sure that works. Then, the angle that you want it to have it so your chuck grabs it, like digs the claws and pulls it back, rather than just holding it like a sissy. No offense meant, but you don't want to hold it in your fingertips. You want to be grabbing it like it counts. Show you that. The next is, there's a little hole in the middle of that thing. Look, just like the Ed Sullivan show, huh, with the plates. That little hole really helps you when you put it on a piece of wood. And there's a depression on the face of it, right here. That depression matters because, well, why should I spoil loading in all the action? You got to watch a little bit more. Before we get started, I got to tell you to keep an eye out. I'm going to have a new thing on. We're talking live from the shop. That's right, through Ustream TV. Ustream TV. See it right here? Ustream TV. You look up Makin Shavin and you'll find me. I'll put the schedule up so you can see when we're going to be there. Ha ha! To get this started, I've got my stronghold in. Don't need it, but I'm using a stibe center. A stibe center is a pointy chuck, a pointy spur. Now you can use a 4-point center if you choose to. That's perfectly okay. I just like working with the stibe when I'm doing something. Let's see if we get it right. See, it's got the teeth on the outside and the spring-loaded tip. That's what I like to put this on. What am I going to put on it? I've got a block of mahogany. It's 1.5 inches thick and it's about 3 inches in diameter. I'm going to center it up on my stibe. I'm going to bring up the tailstock here. Back out a little bit so you can see what's happening. Then I'm going to spin it and look over this direction and see if I'm pretty close to being centered up so I'm not wobbling too much. If I got it where I'm kind of happy, I'm going to loosen up, crank down the tailstock and take a look at it. That's where I want to be. Now when I cranked it down, if you don't understand, it pushed that block onto those points. That's going to give me a fairly stable platform to turn on. We crank up the lathe and we round this off. I'm going to use my roughing gouge. Speed's about 800 RPMs. Why the speed? Well, I just don't want it banging. It's not critical for roughening it in, but I want to make it round. Once I make it round, I got to move you and show you the next over the top of the lathe. And I have you in this position because I want to show you the next step. This is a glue block that I have. And on this glue block, I've got a bevel right here. That bevel is to match this angle. You see that angle? Let me get it in the right spot here. Trying to get it turned around. You see that angle? This is my profile jaws by one way. I want this angle in here and this angle of my jaw to be very, very close. Why? Because I want to grab this as much as possible, and I want to be bearing on a different face than most people would think. I'm not going to bear on this face of the chuck at all. This is where it screws into the jaws. I don't want to bear on this face here. I want to bear on the top face of the jaw up here and down here. I'm squeezing here and I'm bearing against this surface. You understand that? Okay. Now, how am I going to cut that? That's pretty easy. I have ground my skew to match that angle. This is my skew, and I ground in the angle on my skew to match this. Yeah. Now, it worked really nice. You can see, and it's also a comfortable angle for the skew. When I get started, I've got it faced up. I'm going to go in, I'm going to clean up this face. Because that's sacrificial, I don't need it. Then I'm going to come in and put the seat. You need to know about some particular points here. Now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of this. This is almost a perfect depth. I'm not grounded out here. I'm grounded out up here. I'm matching this angle right here, and it's really a good tight fit. So I'm good here, and I'm good here, and the depth is okay. Now, what about dimension? What about a size? Well, years and years ago, a guy told me that the way to do that is to build yourself a template. This is my Profile Stronghold Jaws template. This is for a tenon. And for all those that send me corrections on how I pronounce the word, look at it. T-E-N-O-N. Alright? Now, I want to be as close to this perfect dimension as I can get. As close as I can get, but not smaller. So let me get close and then I'll explain why. I know you had the question, why is the dimension so critical? This is profile jaws. When they're closed down all the way, they create a perfect circle. Okay. Here and here. Now, if I was going to be putting a socket in to get the maximum bearing on the outside of this jaw against the socket, I would want to be just a little bit bigger than that jaw. So that's what this template gives me. A little bit bigger than that. So when I do a socket, see the word socket on there. When I do a socket, I'm going to be a little bit bigger for this to fit in. Then it can go here, open it just a little bit, and I got a perfect fit. Conversely, here's the other one. This is my spigot, or my tenon. If I put a tenon, if it's this size right here, when I open the jaws and close them down on the tenon, I'm going to get maximum bearing, and I'm going to still have some room for breathing. So that's what the dimension's all about. If I were to grab onto this dimension out here, I'll show you what happens here. I get the jaws digging in to those points. See the gap underneath? Jaws digging those points, leave marks, can slip, don't get full bearing. I'd prefer to go the other way. It's like belt in the suspenders. Doesn't look good, but nothing happens. We're now back with the glue block we started with being shaped up. I want to find the exact center. So I stick my gouging in, get that. Then I want to drill a hole. The hole is critical for placement. It's a frill, but you need it. I'm going to put about a 9/64, 3/16, whatever, hole right in the center of the glue block, all the way through. To do that, I have my shop-made drill master here. It is a 3/8 inch keyless chuck on a 3/8 24 bolt, glued bolt, head cut off, glued into a handle with a ferrule on it, and I just took $19 away from the catalog service to make this. If you don't have one, you should make one. The hole's in there. Now we're going to face it up and get it ready for use. Start real simple. Let's put a dish in the middle. I don't care what tool you use to do it, just get a depression in there. Once you have a depression, you want to true up the face. Truing up the face is because this is not true. So I'm just going to use my double-sided negative rake scraper. And I'm going to true that face up, nice and true. The critical part is, I want to be absolutely certain that I have no cracks here. This is good bearing, this is good bearing. Both sides. Got it? Got it. Now you're saying, but Cap, you did that, why? Well, here's the deal. I don't want it bound in the middle. I want it glued around the outer edge. That's how I glued this one, around that edge. Why? Because glue blocks move just like wood does. And if this was in the middle and this glue block shifted, it could push on it enough force to break it off. We don't need glue for 3 inches across. We only need about a 1/4 or 3/8 inch band around the outside edge. I want to place this glue block back on this piece of walnut. For me to do so, I want to hit that dot. I'm going to put this glue block on that dot. Now to do so, I'm going to use this glue block placement guiding device. There's a new laser guided model coming out soon, but this is a glue block placement guiding device. Oh wait, I should have cut that off. Now you're going to notice a piece of coat hanger. Oh man. Alright, you got me. Put the wire through there. I'm going to put glue here on this ring. I'm going to take one shot of accelerant right there. Then I'm going to stand it up right over the top. There's my spot. Boom. Guess what? We hit dead center. Now, if you don't think this was worth the $20 that I want to have in a fall catalog, you know, you can't beat it. And if I sell one, then I can get my shirts out the laundry and I'll have a few more. Got a recap for you now. Remember, clean bottom, the right size, not too deep, hole drilled in the middle, depression over here, and the glue block setting device, Mark II. Yes, Mark II is, see, I found one with paint on it. It's really nice. And I can get 2 of these out of a hanger. Got you going there. All right, glue blocks. Oh, by the way, here we go. The grain for this wood runs this way. The grain for this glue block runs this way. Not this way. Not across. Don't cross grain them. Wood does what wood does best. It moves. This could move. This has to move with it. So don't cross block it. No plywood. Nothing with cracks or fractures. And not too long because you don't want a leverage thing. Okay? Glue blocks. Now, let me tell you some other news here. You ready? Stand by, I'll tell you. Hey, just when you thought it was safe to go back out in the shop, it ain't. Really. Got this for you. Starting this Wednesday, November 7th, 7 p.m. Central Time, Makin Shavin's live on Ustream TV. Yeah, Ustream TV. This right here. You go to Ustream TV on your computer. You type in Makin Shavins, and you'll find me. Yeah, we'll start this Wednesday night, November 7th, at 7 p.m. Central Time. I'll be there for 1 hour. And at that time, I'll tell you how you can send me a text or a message or whatever, and I'll be able to respond to you live. So if there's something you want to see, a question you want to ask, that's the way to do it. Live, Makin Shavins, beginning this week, Wednesday, November 7th. That's the right day, yeah. Wait, Wednesday's bowling night. What am I doing? Oh, I don't bowl. All right, Wednesdays. Clean forgot. I'm back. Yeah, I'm like crabgrass. You can't get rid of me. I got a brand new cutter coming out. 16 millimeter cutter. That's right, the 16. I think that fits some of those tools that you may have paid a little bit too much money for. Not that you did pay, you may have paid too much money for. I got a 16 millimeter cutter because I'm told that some cutters out there are 16.05 millimeters. I had them made. I commissioned them and had them made. So I've got tool manufacturers bugging me to buy these cutters. You can buy them too. The deal is this. There are 3 cutters. This is until Thanksgiving. 3 cutters. $18. I charge $2 shipping on each package of cutters. Now that means if you buy a dozen cutters, I'm charging you $2 shipping on a dozen cutters. You buy 25 cutters, $2 shipping on 25 cutters. That's the deal. Now, I'll mix and match, but I like to keep in groups of 3 because management there, yeah, I need one and one. I might have you talk to them. All right? But that's coming out real soon. I should have my hands on them next week. So drop me a note. Check out my website. Give me a call. Whatever. But thanks for joining me today as we had a little more fun making shavings. I'm Captain Eddie. You take care now. If you're real lucky, this time I won't come back. Don't you have something you got to go do? Come on, get out of here.